Welcome back to Growing a Deeply Rooted Business, the podcast where intentional strategy meets sustainable systems.
We're so glad you're here. I'm Jess, your systems architect and Notion obsessed strategist who truly believes that systems are self-care.
And I'm Rachel, your email marketing mastermind. I'm all about building marketing ecosystems that actually work with the intentional strategy and, you guessed it, all things email at the heart of it.
Together, we're on a mission to help women entrepreneurs like you build businesses that are both profitable and purpose-driven. We know you want success, but not at the cost of your health, relationships, or personal joy.
Exactly. And that's why every episode we're diving into intentional marketing strategies, sustainable systems, and a really good launch strategy that doesn't leave you burned out.
Whether you're refining your operations, planning your next launch, or figuring out how to make your marketing work smarter, not harder, we've got you covered.
So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's grow something deeply rooted together.
Hello, happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. It is the week of Black Friday, and I don't know about you, but I am feeling all of the energy. I'm having PTSD flashbacks of my days in retail. I purposely take Black Friday week off just because I refuse as a former retail escapee to do this. But I know that some of you are launching offers, some of you are taking a much needed break from marketing, and others are just trying to make it to January without having a complete meltdown. That is the boat I am in right now. I'm experiencing some good but crazy growth. So we're not here to shame anyone, but we are here to say that there are other ways to end the year strong without succumbing to the chaos, caffeine, and fake urgency that is the holiday season.
Yeah, so we are going to be diving into 3 grounded yet strategic ways to show up, whether you're opting out, pivoting, or playing the long game. And then at the end of this episode, we're going to share a little bit of a shift that has helped us both ditch the pressure and build some real momentum without all of the chaos that comes with this season. So if we're being honest, this is a sacred week in the business world. It is not just because it's Black Friday, but because people are really deciding what the next year is going to shape up to look like. And usually we're reflecting, thinking, oh, I haven't met my sales goals, or I need to do a discount or something out of FOMO, because you're either feeling a lot of pressure or, peer pressure, I guess, really, to do something in this big promotional window, which is the end of the year. What we want you to do is pause. We want you to first audit your year. We want to look back and say what has worked, what has not worked. Looking at those seasonal sales trends is going to be key here, because I know a lot of my clients, or a lot of my ideal clients, they're not actively looking to make any buying decisions in the month of December. So it's traditionally a really slow period for me that I can take a moment to pause and say, I can release any guilt that I'm not missing out on anything here. And I think that is something that clarity comes with knowing your seasonal sales trends versus trying to really forcefully put a promotion out because of the fear of missing out or whatever. And if you can really look back and make that decision with clarity, I think that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had a couple of discovery calls this week, and two of them, we decided we are going to be working together, but it's not going to be until January, because right now it's November 20th. If you're in the online business world, most businesses shut down those last 2 weeks of December. So there's not a lot of headway that we can do anyway. So, I suggested, I was like, let's just kind of reconnect in January and start then, because I think trying to start anything now would just
definitely. So that's step 1, is looking at what our seasonal sales trends are being, and really tap into that clarity there to release a lot of that shame and guilt. The second one is identify some referral sources. Maybe this means that instead of hoping for discovery calls in December, you're really just booking some casual networking calls. You're really connecting back out to your network. I know a lot of people do client gifts or holiday gifts and things along those ends. So really focus on building that relationship for those connection points, whether it's, people that white label for you or people that, typically send business your way, whatever that looks like, is really rooting down into your network and making sure that that's top tier in December.
Yeah. And I think just giving yourself the time and space to reset, reflect. We have a ton of episodes last year about end of year planning if you want to go back and listen to those. But we're really big on like the reflection and kind of combing through each aspect of your business so you can spot where are the dead zones in visibility and content, what offers need tweaking, where do you need to bring on extra support if you want to continue to grow and scale, like where are those like opportunities. Like right before we got on the call with Rachel, I was like, I need to hire someone to help with automation, Zapier for my clients because this is taking up a lot of my time. I can do it, but it's not necessarily my zone of genius or my like great joy in day to go play at Zapier every day. So I know that's one of my goals that I'm like setting up for the new
Yeah.
year.
And then lastly, we're going to spot some dead zones in our content or visibility. So, like, while everybody's slow, like, I don't know about you, Jess, but like for me, I am not on social media as much anymore. Just from all aspects, it's so overwhelming and overstimulating. So, looking at you have the space in December, is what I'm saying. You have the space to say, I'm going to do a little bit of a content audit. I'm going to really look at my top of funnel and say, what are the things that are working? What are the things that aren't working? And like, how do we kind of like tap into optimizing a little bit more of the stuff that is working? So really, overall, knowing your data is the first step to making sure that your year ahead is the most aligned and profitable year yet. That's key across everything. We're going to stop reacting out of FOMO and out of peer pressure. And we're going to really just root down into some certainty, which is our data.
So another thing that you can do besides jumping on the sales train is create a lot of value for people with not necessarily a pitch to attach to it. I think this is a great way to stand out because right now your audience is being sold to nonstop. So if you surprise them with something really valuable to them instead of a pitch, you're going to really help build that bank of trust for them and that reciprocity that we really like to see in marketing.
Yeah. And I think it's important that, like, whether this is a checklist, a download, something that's like timely right now, is that you still want to utilize the like aligned leads framework, which is saying that we're using this moment to act as a filter to call out the leads from your followers. So, yes, you can create value and still deliver to your whole audience. But to set yourself up for the most success in the next year, really want to target and call out a very specific niche of your audience, which is the people that will eventually buy from you. So I actually have a new blog on this, which is called How to Create a Lead Magnet That Actually Converts Leads. And so this is something we'll link in the show notes here too, where it really is important to utilize your lead magnet as a filter to separate the people from your audiences that are never going to buy from you and the people that will buy from you.
Right. Moving into our line step or step number 3 is rest like it's revenue building. I am so looking forward to that like week between Christmas and New Year's rot where like I just kind of cozy up on my couch and just allow myself to like become a sloth.
Yeah, I know. We just booked a vacation last night for Colorado. And like, it's just me, my husband, and my baby. And we got a little like VRBO with a hot tub. I was like, when the baby's asleep, I can go be in the hot tub and I can relax. And like, that is something that like, oh my gosh, I am in such desperate need from. And I think people, especially maybe in that first like year to two of business where you're thinking like, I gotta go, go, go. And like, you just keep on this like fast pace, like, because the excitement's there and the momentum's there. But like rest is crucial. Jess, I think you and I are both like year 5, 6 into this. Like rest is crucial because you cannot give when you have no more left to give, if that makes sense, as dramatic as that sounds. But like you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's going to be reflective in your marketing, in your messaging, in how you show up on discovery calls. If you are just depleted of energy, you are not going to make any revenue that's meaningful.
mean, the holiday season is just so overstimulating in a good way, in every single way. But I know by the end of it, like, I'm like, take all these Christmas decorations down. I can't deal with the clutter. And like, I spend a lot of time like slothing and just kind of recharging my batteries because I see a lot of family during the holidays, which is draining. But then always like the second half of the week when I'm like, okay, you got to get up now. It's all about kind of just like setting myself up for success, like not necessarily in my business, but like organizing my house and like figuring out like what habits I want to. And I just kind of love that like new year, new energy, kind of making sure that like all of my habits and everything that I want to do, like I've removed all the friction to making those like actually happen.
Yeah, I feel like for business owners, like spring cleaning really does happen in the winter. That purging of things really does happen in this kind of slow period where nobody's answering DMs, nobody's showing up as much. And like, that kind of brings us into our next point, which is like, if your business feels super messy right now, like that's normal. We just had a sprint of a year to get us here. So, the end of the year is really showing us where our gaps in processes have been, like where like my desktop right now is so bad because of all of the newsletters I've built this year, all of the content that has been created and like supporting of my clients. Like the end of the year is magnifying the clutter in your business and in your life as well. So it's really kind of important to take this pause and to like zoom out and like Jess said, like just take everything and like, deal with the clutter a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I love to reset my Notion at the end. Rachel just said she needs to do a Notion
Mhm.
reset. So I think it's really just about like simplifying. How can you simplify everything in your business? This has been a sprint of the year. So there's probably a lot of things that have gotten thrown into your business that may not be like the best fit. I think this year, different than last year, like we're really going to have to be intentional about it because last year at this time for me was like very, very slow and different. There was like a lot of uncertainty after the election about like what was going on. And like I wasn't really seeing like the discovery calls or like being able to sign clients for next year yet. But like this year, I've got like 4 projects already lined up for January. So if I don't allow myself to like slow down and simplify now, I am not doing anything service for me next year. It's just going to be like absolutely a chaotic mess.
Totally. Yeah. And actually, like, if you do get, like, which this typically happens for me in the month of December, where I get this big creative burst because I'm not like being bombarded by Slack messages or client work or whatever that may be. It's actually a really fun time to intentionally move through some of these things and some of these components. Another resource that I can share with you guys is my private podcast series. It's a little bit of a limited series where it's breaking down how to flip your business out of a algorithm dependent and into an algorithm optional marketing plan, which breaks down like how to attract people, how to engage people, and how to like convert people outside of that like chaotic algorithm space. So if you are inspired, that resource does exist and we will link it in the show notes as well. But I do want to mention we do not need to fix everything right now. So take it slow. Make sure we're just identifying some of the key things that can be shifted and like don't overdo it.
Yeah, that kind of brings us to like our bonus tip is like think like a legacy builder. It can be really tempting to like try to grab some like fast cash, but what we're really trying to build is sustainable systems that are going to matter in 3 months, in a year, in 2 years that are still going to be supporting our business versus like stressing ourselves out and trying to put together a Black Friday campaign in like a week because everybody's telling us that we should.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, really asking yourself, like, is this going to make momentum in 3 years or 1 year or whatever the case may be? Because sustainable businesses aren't seasonal, they're rooted. So every decision we make needs to be rooted in longevity, which is absolutely key.
All right. So just to recap, you do not have to participate in the holiday chaos. You can finish strong without fraying your edges. So we want you to spend your time auditing your year so that you don't go into your year in reaction mode. You're really moving from a space of grounded proactiveness. We want to embrace the season of giving by leading with generosity, not FOMO, urgency, buy now sales tactics. Make sure that you're protecting your peace and your rest, like your business depends on it, because it does. Take the time to see where you can simplify and declutter not only your business, but also your supporting systems in your life. And make sure that you are making decisions for the future, not just one arbitrary Friday that the business world has decided is super important.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you loved this episode, please share it with your biz bestie. Leave us a review. We would love some reviews for if you're bored this week or, next week, leave us a review. We'd love to see what's resonating with you and what's connecting. And if you have any ideas, any questions on how you're planning or where you're stuck planning for the next year, send us a DM. We would love to work that into our planning episodes that we have coming up. So until next time, we're rooting for you.
Rooting for you.